cannot find anywhere. That's about it, brother. Go ahead with your question. I'm ready for any question.
Thanks, brothers. Very insightful feedback. It's a very important question, the question of the world we live in today. It is truly now become apparent that there are two natures to mankind. There's a fitrah which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made us with, born with, and there is the what we call that second nature that gets imposed upon us from the society, from societal expectation. We live in a consumer-based society that constantly is dictating to us what is happiness, what is success, what must we do to be successful and happy. And this is adding this extra layer of pressure, and this is the causes of what we see today as anxiety, illusion, stress, and so on. So if you go back to how we should be originally and how we should live our life authentically, our life, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for us, is a beautiful life. It's one where one should seek belonging, validation purely for the sake of validation, as opposed to the validation that people seek in a consumer-based society where you're measured on what you accomplish and what you achieve. Example is a famous footballer. Not a lot of us, we follow football like soccer, but not a lot of us follow rugby union. But anyway, 2003, Wellington is a very famous footballer in England. He actually creates history by actually living the dream of every athlete, every boy growing up thinking, I could score that try in the final minute and win the World Cup for my country, and this athlete achieves it. In his autobiography, he says, as that kick landed and I won England the World Cup, I've never felt so miserable and so lonely and isolated in my life. And you think, wow, why? You've just achieved what society expected of you to achieve, right? You've lived the dream, you've achieved it. Because his original fitrah was that he played that sport for fun and joy. But there was all this expectation now that were imposed, which then took him away from what we should be doing things for. It took a lot of soul searching for this athlete, and he came back to realize what we are trying to say and advocate. You know, we do have the complete religion. So again, we go back to, yes, Imam Hussein as a most wonderful school for life. What is one of the things Imam Hussein talks about? Silat al-Rahim, to visit one's relatives and to continue that connection and that relationship. Because again, the original fitrah of us, our first nature, is one of connectedness, of one of living in community, of one of reaching out for one another and being there for one another. So, to us as parents, we should be saying to ourselves, we should not just validate our kids when they get 100 out of 100 for a test. And because what happens down the track later on in life, do not validate only when you win a football match. Do not validate only when you're winning on the field, because you lose perspective of what games should be all about. Our minds are wired, there's circuits there to enjoy games, to play games for enjoyment. When we place that extra added pressure and make win everything, we lose track of what it's all about. And then that's what the causes of anxiety and stress starts to happen. So we should be giving love to our children all the time, irrespective. We shouldn't be conditioning our love and connect it just to a certain outcome. Once that outcome is not there, you no longer validate or give respect or validation to your kid. And so that's the way I would address the issue of stress and anxiety, which is common in the community today. I'll go back to the main original fitrah, the original nature of humankind, and I'll stress that we should go back to it and connect to it and be very mindful of the mass consumer society that we live in today and the addiction that it's causing. Thank you.